baby.
Well, John, thanks for coming to hang out with us, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I feel like I say that every time. I gotta come up with a new intro.
Well, so
Hey, man, thanks for coming to hang out with us. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, man, I'm a big fan of Ore, and we've been talking earlier about you guys, and Ore's a really rad place, and obviously a lot of cool different vendors, and having the deli in the back, and it's really unique, man. It's really cool. And how long has Ore been around?
November 2019, so what's that, a little over 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what was there? I can't remember.
Is it like a Family Dollar or something?
Next door, where Seasick and stuff was, but for a hot minute, Mountain High had a store where we are.
Really?
And then before that, it was like a wig store or something.
Oh, really?
Like when I lived over here, like 20 years ago, it was like a wig store, and that whole shopping center was different.
It's changed a lot, man. I remember when Mountain High, I guess I thought Mountain High was in
I did not know that we had
where
a Mountain High over
Sanctum
there.
is. Now, I thought it was further down. It didn't seem like it
No,
was
they
that
were
big
in
of
our
a space.
spot. Yeah.
Now, did they knock?
I took the wall out where the deli's at.
Okay, that's what it is.
That
Because I
was
feel like
their
it used to
storage
not
room.
be that big.
No, that was like their shoe wall.
Okay.
Yeah. And we knocked it, I don't know. During the shutdowns, I was in there, and I was bored, and I was like,
What can we do?
I'm going to take this wall out and build a deli.
That's cool. So the deli didn't come immediately. It was after the fact.
No, it was actually, we were talking to some Diplomat Deli. Was going to do something there
I haven't heard of Diplomat Deli.
over in Vestavia,
Okay.
like right across the street from like Mark's Outdoors and stuff, down the street from the old skate park.
Oh, okay.
And it's just been around, people know it. But they shutdowns got weird, everybody got weird, so they backed off. And then we were sitting there twiddling our thumbs, figuring it out. And then one day I don't know, I had this janky hammer that was half broken, and I was like, I'm going to take this wall out and figure it out
Like,
myself.
we don't need
I'm gonna
that.
do it.
So
I
you
can make
just
a
went in-
sandwich.
Yeah.
You just went in there and started knocking it out.
Yeah, it was wild. Because I wanted to do like an Italian-style deli.
Yo.
You know, New York style. And because there's not one like that here.
Yeah.
You know, so we thought, let's just figure it out.
Well, dude, while we're on the topic of food, is how do you say it? Tropicaleo? Tropicaleo. Are they open or closed? Because I feel like the past couple times I've gone by there, they've been closed. And if you go to their Instagram, it says closed until further notice. But they shut down and open back up, and I thought they were doing well.
Yeah,
now
that might
they're
be
not.
one of those things that I don't want to speak out of turn on. But they haven't been open.
They haven't been open.
Yeah.
So I'm not just crazy and constantly missing them.
No, I mean, I think he's had some staff issues, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Okay. Well, I love their food. I hope they make it. They're
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, they have a pretty good following. They have not been open a whole lot since after the shutdowns.
Yeah. Bummer,
Damn.
man. That sucks. Badass Cuban sandwiches. Really, really good.
You gotta try ours, Cuban.
Okay. Well, I've done the hot pressed the Ore sandwich. I don't know if I've tried the Cuban. Maybe I have.
It's called the Da Vinci.
Well, what did we have when we went up there?
That was the Ore. It's like the barbecue.
Yeah,
Hot panini pressed thing or
press.
something.
So our Cuban is like, it's an Italian style Cuban. It's good though. It's people really like it.
Okay.
And so outside of like the best Cuban sandwich in town is probably this place in Vestavia called Cool's Corner. It's badass.
Cool's Corner.
Yeah,
Okay.
you would never guess it. Like it's like right down from the skate park. Like on the right, there's like the Mexican restaurant and a little shopping center, and you go in there and it's called Cool's Corner. It's incredible.
Vestavia's got all the delis. I guess.
I mean, it's weird. Yeah, they got it all. And but cute man, I love good Cuban.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, dude, tell me about how you guys got this thing started. I heard rumors of an opening, and then you guys have a bunch of different brands that you sell, some local, some like Haller Brothers. We're a big fan of Haller Brothers.
Sure.
Surprised
to see Haller Brothers sold right here in
yeah,
Avondale.
anywhere. Yeah. It was
one of
actually,
Big.
he was a huge Haller Brother fan, and I actually got turned on watching their like surfing videos
Oh,
and
yeah?
stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, these guys
Their
rule.
marketing is incredible.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just a rad company, and they're
They're-
coming in to see y'all, and y'all have like a whole booth set up for Haller. Just shout out Haller
Yeah, I mean, Haller Brothers is awesome. Like it's one of my favorite brands, and that's why I brought it in because it's under developed, I guess, in this area. Mountain High and
Are they
Alabama
out of-
Outdoors sell little,
Okay.
but they're out of Austin.
Okay, it's like a
Yeah.
Texas because they
Yeah.
just opened a storefront.
They
I
did,
think.
yeah, on Congress, I think, or somewhere,
Okay.
right on the main drag over there. And but they're rad dudes. They're fun. I don't know. It's just fun. It's a fun brand. It's not. It meets our customer, like, and who I am, like what I like, But it's also not so serious.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, if you watch their videos, they're just like goofing off.
Yeah,
and
that's what makes it
fishing
cool.
and longboarding and stuff. So.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of like, I don't know. It's like surf and outdoors at the same time,
Sure.
Like hunting, fishing, but surf.
It seems like a lot of the brands sold under Ore are kind of outdoorsy influenced. You know what I mean? A lot of fishing brands. What's the you guys have a thing in the back corner. It's like
So there's the Deep Creek.
Deep Creek. Yeah.
So
yeah. They have
that's
like
our-
the fishing lure logo. or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's that's my brand.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh, okay, cool.
Me and a couple other guys are doing that brand.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're taking it, we're going to be developing it, and next year we'll be wholesaling it. So we're making shorts and we're making button ups, and it's going to be a real brand.
Dude, that's
Nice.
sick.
That's pretty rad.
Now,
Yeah.
did you guys start that in at the same time as Ore?
No, that one actually.
Or was that already in?
Somebody else started that. This guy Ron, who is brother-in-law to the Marks Outdoors people, and so I met him because I was the Filson rep, and then he opened a golf store in Homewood that's really cool. It's called Pebblehurst, and he wasn't doing anything with the brand, and he's like, hey, you want to do something with this? And so we got it from him.
Just kind of gave it to you. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was kind of like hey, buy the inventory. Like, here's what I have. And me and my friend Joe and Payne and Wes is a little part of it also.
He never even mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then we're going to take it to market. Like my big stipulation was I don't want to be a T-shirt brand only. I want to
Yeah.
make real stuff, like because there's so many T-shirt brands.
Sure.
Everybody can do a T-shirt brand. So we're developing that. We've actually just got a office in Irondale.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to be basing out of there.
Dude, random. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I dig the designs. We bought a couple of shirts last Christmas. We always hit that, during our holiday shopping and stuff. And
Sure.
try to come in there and get a sandwich,
Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah. But take me back, man. I guess you're a Birmingham native, or you said
Kinda.
you kind of. We were talking earlier. You said you were originally from like PC.
Panama
Yeah.
City.
So my dad was in the Air Force. We moved around a lot. Alabama, Florida a lot. So I went to high school in both Panama City and Childersburg, Alabama, which is
Okay.
where my dad's originally from. So when he retired, we moved there. I finished high school there and moved to Birmingham. I went to Auburn for like 6 months
6 months.
and then moved up here to skateboard all the time.
Okay, yeah, we were. I know I used to see her around the Faith on Magnolia a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So
That was the spot. We spent a lot of time on that corner. That it was good times though, But that's how I came about Birmingham for so long.
okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of led to starting this I guess, had you seen anybody else doing something like this in town?
Not yet.
Okay.
Like I haven't seen this anywhere, and I'm in retail stores all the time because my day job. So I'm a sales rep. I think we talked about that. So I travel. I'm in stores all over the place. It's really like Halla Brothers, Caton. There's all these brands that didn't have a place in Birmingham. They weren't represented, and you didn't see them in stores, and it was just cool stuff. So I started putting the pieces together and coming up with a unique retail story, I guess, that's just completely different than anything we have in town. Because everything here is like, you got skate, then you got your outdoor stores. And Alabama Outdoors and Mountain High, they're very similar.
Yeah.
They're selling strictly outdoor REI stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that's great, but the apparel side of things, if it's not technical, there's not a lot of lifestyle stuff. So I kind of bridged the gap there.
Mm-hmm.
When we started out more as like shop and shop type stores where we had little vendors, Faith being one of them, Manitou, which is like vintage. We had the Alabama peanut guy in there doing peanuts, and BHAM brand. So each section on that wall was a different vendor. But we've kind of slowly started moving away from that model.
Okay.
Yeah.
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, right now it's just Peter, and we got somebody doing some vintage, but the rest of the vintage we've been buying ourselves. And then we had the BHAM guy.
So instead of it being like a bunch of different brands or companies all under one roof, it's kind of slowly morphed into basically you guys
Taking over.
basically being one store, one.
It's more
parent
cohesive,
company.
yeah.
Okay, I guess.
I mean, it just flows better.
Sure.
It allowed, we grew, and we needed more real estate. And the trick with the booth, the situation is the people who stay on top of it are great. But if they're not putting energy in their booth and marketing it, then they're wondering why they're not selling anything.
Sure.
You know, so if they're not telling people to, hey, go shop my booth, they're not selling anything.
Right.
And then we kind of all fed off each other. But it just, you know, people get bored, or they don't have as much time as they thought they were going to have. They start out really strong, and then they just kind of peter off. So that allowed us to, okay, well, when someone leaves, we're like, well, instead of putting somebody else in there, we'll just beef up our Haller Brothers assortment.
Okay.
We'll beef up more stuff in the Deep Creek. Maybe it's not Deep Creek stuff. We'll bring in Marshwear and brands that make that flow with Deep Creek and just make that bigger. And then whereas Peter's the first guy I bounced this idea off of when I wanted to do it, and he was always on board from day one. So I don't think he'll go anywhere.
Sure. When you first started bouncing ideas to do this, did you guys have a space in mind, or did you know what part of town you wanted to be in? Or
So I knew I wanted to be in town. I looked around a lot, you know, and it was finding the right spot. You know, I was almost originally going to do more of a warehouse style spot and have more vendor space. Well, Family Dollar had a big sign on it that for lease, you know. So I called the guy, and it ends up being Payne, which most people don't know this, but he's my partner in the business. He owns a shopping center.
Okay. He owns the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he's one of the owners of Mom's, and then he owns Weatherford, Dr. Dank, you know, the stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
CBD. Yeah. So that's him and some guys own that. They're like under us. So they grow all that.
Yeah, I've been in their shop, yeah.
So they grow all that downstairs. So
Man, that's the way to do it. Own the building and half the business is in it.
Yeah.
That's a smart man.
he's very smart.
Dude.
He's smart, and he's like a lawyer. So it's like
Oh my god.
all the back end stuff's just like, all right, cool. Like, you know,
Workaholic.
That's a great business
it's a great partner
too, yeah.
because I have my part, you know, and then I'm like, I really need this. Can you do that? So he's also involved with us on Deep Creek. So he's our other guy in Deep Creek. And but he's smart. He's an ideas guy. I had the idea. He liked it. Well, they, you know, I think Seasick was going back and forth whether they're going to move or not.
So was Seasick in the space that you guys are in?
They were up the road. You know, they were in that other shopping center.
Right. Okay.
Which he developed that one.
I just know there used to be one of the shopping spaces, one of the spaces in that shopping center had like a big wall right down the middle, and then they knocked it down and basically turned it into one big space.
That was the Family Dollar spot.
That was the Family Dollar.
And that's
okay.
where Harvest Fruits Seasick.
Okay. Or they added the wall. I guess they divided.
They did. They added
That's
the wall.
what it was.
That's right.
I
yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
But that's where Seasick and Harvest Roots come. So that was the space I was looking at doing the whole Family Dollar space.
That would have been huge.
Yeah. Well, that's when I was thinking, oh, more vendors, right? You know?
Do more of a booth style. Almost like
Yeah.
the what is it, Urban Suburban?
Yeah, very, very similar to that, but I was kind of geared more towards makers and new stuff.
Sure.
So anyway, so we went down to Mom's, talking to him, and so that struck up the conversation about Mountain High. Hey, like, how's Mountain High doing? And it just kind of came up like, hey, he's actually looking for a way out. I'm like, so you're saying that spot could be available, you know? Like, and he's like, I think we could put it together. So went back and forth, and he was like, well, I got cold feet, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to do it. Payne come back through and was like, what if we do it together? And I'm like, well, that sounds reasonable. Let's do it, you know?
So originally it was just all you. You were like, I'm gonna start this. And what's cool is, I mean, when you guys eventually got it up and going, how did you choose the different brands or companies that were all gonna, like, how did you reach out to the peanut guy? And then
that one came through
you
Peter.
know what I mean?
Yeah. So that came through Peter. Well, Peanut Guy used to be a footwear rep too, so we crossed a lot of the same paths doing shoe rep. I was a rep, so we were like doing the same game. And so he came but he came by a bar conversation with Peter at the bar, like Parkside or somewhere. Like, hey, my buddy's opening this thing. What do you think?
He's like, yeah, dude, I can sling some peanuts.
Yeah,
let's make this happen.
Manitou came because I known him for a long time from back in the day. He played in bands, and then pretty much everybody else was just like network people.
Just people you kind of knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like the Beham guy, they had a store in the Battery.
Yeah.
But
Do they still have a store in the Battery?
No, because they were like he has a full-time job, and then this is like his side gig. So the store wasn't, keeping people to work the staff or having the store open. So he came by way of landlord, like, hey, looking for something. And I'm like, well, this could be a perfect fit. Put him in here, And then, but everybody else, people I knew, I guess.
So how long did, I don't know, how long did it last before, how long were you guys open before COVID happened? Just a year?
How does it work? I'm trying to wrap my head around, because when Alex pitched it to me, he's like, yo, Ore's opened up, but like Faith has a booth and you have all these booths, and I'm thinking, man, like,
we'll get a skateboard, get some peanuts, I'm gonna eat a sandwich,
and I'm
buy
like,
a Howard Brothers hat.
So is it like a
it's almost like it's like a mini mall.
Yeah, but okay, so I'm
store.
thinking of just like your point of sale is just one desk. It's one like you take stuff from different booths and check.
That took a lot of brain power to figure out how to make it work, right? Like, so basically you're running a part consignment store and a part retail store, right? So we take a percentage of whatever they sell, right? So someone like Peter, who has a full-blown booth, he pays rent for his square feet.
You're taking him to the cleaners.
Well,
he pays the most.
Yeah. Well, gotta charge. You gotta tax the guy, right?
That's right.
The
tax man.
So he pays a percentage of every sale. So we cover we credit card processing. We cover all the shopping bags, then the employees to be there, right? All they have to do is bring product. We tag it, bag it, put it out for them, get it looking good.
And you're helping them to try on shoes and
we're doing
roller skates or whatever else you guys are selling.
So their percentage to us actually pays for something, right?
Right.
But they don't have to be there, right? So yeah, their margin gets a little smaller, but it introduces them to a different clientele. Like, so Peter's clientele at our store is driven more longboards, more lifestyle driven person. The person who's probably not going to go to the hardcore skate shop, right? Like, they're just in there, and then it's just random people. Like, they're in there buying a sandwich and they're like, oh, I need this longboard for my kid. Here's $200 Sector 9. I want to buy that thing. So the way we do it, the back end, that was the biggest challenge, right? Figuring out how to keep up with it, keep it streamlined, and make it work where it's just, because I didn't want you to have to come up there and you buy a shirt from Deep Creek and you buy a face shirt, and then I have to ring you up two separate ways.
Right.
So we do all the back end work, but the way our point of sale system, I have set it up in a certain way to where each vendor is like separated. So I can run a report and go, okay, what did Peter sell for March? It'll tell me. I subtract his percentage in his rent and cut him a check.
Okay.
Yeah. So
barcodes, baby. Scan
all barcodes,
yeah.
And it's nice. And so it's just, but that was the trick,
Yeah.
Because a lot of these antique stores do it all handbooks.
Dude, I was just about to bring that up when I went to Urban Suburban, which there's a really cool store. We bought some like old beer cans and a lot of knickknacks and stuff that are hanging on the wall in here. But it was like they took the tags off of each item and then they would tape it to a piece of paper and then write down what they sold. And I'm like, this is the most antiquated way to do business. Oh my God.
It makes sense for an antique store, but yeah.
But even still, there's so much better ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And when you can streamline it, like I can take a snapshot or I can pull a spreadsheet of everything Peter sold and email it to him. Like, and it's all done. It's just one day. It takes no time, and the back end work is way easier than that. Because when I was doing it, I called around and talked to all these people. How are y'all doing it? How much are y'all charging for a booth? How much is your percentage take? All that stuff. I wanted to know.
Were they pretty willing to share that information?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because they're looking for new vendors all the time.
Sure.
And we don't do what they do, so we weren't a threat by any means.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the biggest challenge.
just figuring out the logistics of everything and how it's like, okay, we're going to have 7 businesses under one roof with one checkout counter, and how do we get it smooth and everybody's, happy.
Yeah, I mean, because now we sell beer, we sell wine, we sell sandwiches. When we first opened, we didn't have the sandwiches, we didn't have the beer, and so we didn't have all the Weatherford, the Dr. Dank there, and so he's a little spot now. He's got a little booth there, but yeah, we didn't have all that, and so just figuring out that back end key made all the difference in the world. So now it's like, Peter says, hey, how much I sell today? I can just look really on my phone. I can look.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Do you guys have people that see your shop or see your model and they're like, dude, how can I get in on the action, man? You got a corner you can, sling some Heavy Ultra T-shirts or something?
All the time. And it's like the hat you're wearing, I sell his stuff.
Shout out Free Will.
Yeah. That's right. Free Will Outdoors. And he just kind of came, Terry at Nonstop, send him over there, and he just kind of struck up a conversation. And I'm to the point where we don't have booth space, but if they're cool people, I'll put their stuff in there and work it out. We'll do like, a certain split that works sense for them. They're not paying for rent, but it works out. You know,
have a spot there.
Doing a really cool fishing guy right now. I'm about to bring in some stuff from him called Hank's Bait Shop. And he's pretty rad. He's like a big fly fishing guy.
Is that Robbie?
Who's that? No, it's not Robbie.
Not Robbie?
No,
okay.
Not Robbie. I don't know if they know each other. This guy's like a biologist at Auburn. And he's studying fish. And he's not. Yeah.
What's he doing? What's he wanting to do?
So he's an amazing artist. You have to check him out. It's like Hank's band. That's his bandana right there. That first he drew that.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
click on that.
He drew that one bandana right there.
So it's more like artistic.
Yeah.
Apparel, I guess, not like fishing.
And that's like a cahaba lily or something like that, I think, or some kind of flower and a skink. But his rest of his stuff is very fishing driven.
Okay.
Yeah, rad dude. Like, so I'm bringing his stuff in, and
dude, y'all got it all. You got candles, you got postcards, you got T-shirts, you got what else? We got sandals.
But it all fits the brand. Like it all fits. Or
yeah, it's
like
a cool...
we go in there for lunch, and then I'm walking around with a beer, and then the next thing I know, I've got a hat, and I've got a sweater, and I've got Halle Brother stuff. That's like,
and you never feel like you're in a different place.
Yes,
right. Like, so my wife is a really good visual merchandiser. She's probably the best in the business I've ever seen, and I've worked with them all, like big companies, small companies. She's really, really good. So when we put both of us together, like, we make it feel cohesive. That's the key. Like, make it look like it's in one store.
All flows.
Like, the faith is over there, but you don't feel like you're in a whole nother world.
Right.
But he still has his identity, right? Like Deep Creek. You feel like it's more outdoors driven, right? But it doesn't stand out so far from everything else.
Sure.
And
whereas you walk through some of these other consignment places, it's like literally like super old antique stuff, then you got like vintage signs, and then you got like Barbie doll or whatever,
whatever their specialty
like
is,
random,
but it doesn't flow. It's all different, whereas we're very cohesive, and that was my goal. Like, paint it a certain way, do the flooring a certain way, make it look like it. I mean, even when you walk into the deli, you still know you're in the same store.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't feel like a completely different place. It has its own hole, but it flows. You're sitting there eating. Yeah, you feel like you're in a store, but you don't feel crowded. You're not like, man, these people are shopping. That's weird. You're just kind of sitting there eating.
Yeah.
Dude, I think the deli is probably the smartest thing. Now, that wasn't originally there, and you kind of talked about it earlier. There,
yeah.
Like, I'm going to knock down this wall, and we're going to do something with this, I guess, storage space or whatever.
It was just storage. Yeah, I mean, the deli's been awesome because it just brings people in all day long.
Well, it's a good excuse to be there, and then while you're waiting on your sandwich to get made, it's like, well, I'm going to walk around and, instead of just sitting here playing on my phone, I can go, look at all this different
and that's what happens.
Ways to spend money. And
that's right, yeah.
And we got people having meetings there, because it's not cramped, and they're coming in for sandwiches, and I hear it all the time. I didn't know this was here, like, you got a deli? And it's kind of rad because we don't have a sign out front that says deli.
Do you serve coffee?
Soon.
Okay.
Okay, coffee's coming.
So that's a whole nother. That's a whole
Can you
nother
let the cat out of the bag?
Okay, yeah.
No, but like we're doing brunch, and we're about to fire brunch up again on Sundays, and we do coffee for it. But we are going to implement another shop and shop situation where we're going to have a full-blown coffee shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put them? There's no room.
Well, the aroma, is that gonna mess with your apparel side, or
I didn't even
does it
think
even
about
matter? Who cares?
I don't think it'll.
You can sell T-shirts.
I
at a
think it'll
coffee
be
shop.
fine.
Yeah.
So the way we're going to do it, we're actually going to do it up front. We're going to move our entrance door over to the other side of this brick wall, kind of near where that table is right there in that picture.
Whoa.
And we're going to take the current door, and it's going to become a service window, so the coffee shop can open early. And we're going to carve out a little nook. You know, it's going to be a small coffee shop, but we're going to have a little bar, coffee, and do some breakfast sandwiches. And then the sidewalk out there is all getting torn out. We're putting in a patio, so we'll have a roll top garage door.
This is like big time. This
Dude,
is
is
big.
awesome.
Yeah.
This isn't just adding like a coffee
A counter
No,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like its own
with a
little coffee
Keurig
shop.
cake cup.
I thought about that.
Help
I was like,
yourself.
we should just do that.
Yeah, dude.
No, but it's gonna be its own little coffee shop because that's something we don't have in the center at all. Right? We got the parking, we got the easy access, and we've thought about like what complements Italian deli.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Coffee compliments everything,
You know?
I guess. I love coffee, dude.
And it gets people coming. I mean, my goal is like, and I learned this in the shutdowns because, like you asked about Tropicalio a second ago, you move into a shopping center because everybody around you is bringing customers, right? And you all feed off one another.
Sure.
Well, what I learned is some people aren't open. They're deciding not to be open for whatever reason. Well, we're open. I'm open 7 days a week. Like, I'm not messing around. My rent's the same no matter what, right?
I'm here to sell,
I'm
baby.
here. I mean, it's a business, and if I don't make it successful, it's kind of pointless, right? So I don't want to rely on anybody else to drive foot traffic to my store. I just rely on myself, and the deli does that. Coffee will do that. Each category, faith helps do that.
Axe throwing, throw that in there.
I should do that. I always wanted to do one of those golf simulator bars.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I really want to do one of those.
Dude, I haven't been to Cinderella Story. I've wanted to try it.
Yeah, like that.
But I'm not a golfer. You know what I mean? I go to like Top
You don't
Golf.
have to be with something like that. You just
You
I
just
feel
go in
like
there and
it's a
have
little
fun.
more pristine. It's like I'm
It
here
is.
to perfect my drive versus like
no. I'm here to put a hole in that fucking curtain. Is what
Over
I'm
there.
here to
Well,
do.
I think it's like that environment. You can get drinks. You can be serious about it, or you can go in there and have
Just
fun,
have fun.
and have like,
Okay.
hey, we could go in there and hit golf balls and go, all right, let's have a contest or play a round of golf. Like you can play like 100 different golf courses on those things.
Dang.
And you can
Okay.
play all these contests, like furthest drive. They have like breakout things where there's like balloons and stuff out there. You hit them with the golf balls and stuff. Pretty cool stuff. I play a little golf, but not a lot. I used to play a lot, and then I've been wanting to play a lot more. So now I want to do this little bar, like burger bar with golf simulators.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like,
Dude,
kinda
that's
fun.
awesome, man. It seems like you got some really rad ideas. Just throw up some pinball machines or something.
I
in
know.
the corner.
See, I don't have any more room. The coffee shop.
You're right, man. That
When
place
you
is-
see the coffee shop in there, it's gonna be like, I've got it. I see it in here, but it's gonna be. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit anything else after that.
Well, how has post-COVID been for you guys? And how, that's one question we've kind of asked everybody that owns a small business is kind of how you navigated COVID. I mean, being open for a year, I guess, a year and some change.
4 months, 5 months.
Or not even that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then COVID hits and it's like, boom, can't go anywhere. Don't do anything. Don't breathe. Don't,
It sucked.
blink. How did you guys stay afloat? And how did that change the business in any way, if it did?
I mean, it sucked.
Well, sure.
I was never one to hunker down like some people I probably did, right? Like life goes on. I'm moving, right? Like so. The first month, we were everything was locked down. I went to work at my house, and remodeled my kitchen and basically the living room, and just finished all that stuff. And then my dad died, so we had to deal with all
bummer.
that.
Hey.
Oh, it sucked.
Condolences,
Timing
man. That
was the
sucks.
worst,
Yeah.
So we couldn't have a funeral,
Oh,
or
my
none of this
gosh.
stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was crazy. So we had that. So I was dealing with family stuff for a hot minute. Well, then it was, hey, stores can open back up. So day one, I'm like down there, open. Well, we didn't, have customers. I mean, we were doing like 90% less business than we are doing right now in a month.
Man.
Like that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had some good staff, and it kind of helped us get through it. and I don't take money from there, so it's like I don't need a paycheck from it. I have my normal job, so. But it gave us the time to go, okay, here's where we're going to revisit some things. That's when some booth situations started shaking up, where we weren't doing peanuts anymore because it was a self-service thing, you know.
Obviously, you can't.
And he shifted his model to more delivery, so that went away. And then we started losing people, but I never backed off the gas. I just kind of stayed on it and said, okay, well, let's put in a deli. Let's spend money.
How hard is it for any retail owner who may be thinking, I'm going to add a little sandwich nook into my business? How hard was it to transfer from being a clothing and apparel store, more or less, to now you got to have, you got to pass all the requirements to be able to sell food and booze.
And wine, you got to jump through a lot of hoops. But fortunately, I'm surrounded by a lot of friends that, with electricians and construction guys, and they all helped out. And we just kind of did all the stuff, and they come and tell you, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, and you just jump through all the hoops and you get it done. It wasn't that hard.
Did you have a guy that was like, in the restaurant business, or is like, dude, I want to run the sandwich shop for you? I mean, like who?
Oh, yeah. We had a wild card there that came from Hotbox from Parkside.
Oh, dude. I hate that Man, I wish Hotbox used to be right here in our backyard.
Yeah.
And now it's all the way on the other side of town.
Yeah.
And I don't eat there as much.
So he, Hotbox wasn't open.
Right.
Everybody was in the business of canceling Parkside at the moment. So dude was in a situation. He came on board and drove us crazy, and but in some hands he brought the menu and things like that, helping write some menus and coming up with some menu items or products and things that we actually needed, helped out a lot. So that gave us a good little start. And then I have things that I want, and I'm like, hey, I got my favorite deli in New York, and I got my favorite deli in Long Beach. These are the things that I like, and this is what I want. This is what I want to do, but I want to do our version. Like we do that antipasta I was eating over there, and it's like I want that.
Yeah, thanks for the muffalettas you brought us. I'll eat that after we finish.
And if you haven't had our muffaletta, like we just got,
I haven't. No.
AL.com just did a big thing. I guess we got best muffaletta in
What? Shout out. Okay. Yeah, no big deal. You know?
Well, it was like
you may have saw the article. We kind of won best muffaletta of the universe.
It was rad because it was like we didn't know. They didn't tell us. And then
there's a thing for best muffaletta.
It was like and so we started getting all these customers telling us, and so I had to look it up.
Oh, you didn't even know, like,
you just have people coming in and want more, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
dude, muffaletta sales are through the roof. What the hell is going on?
I mean, we may have a post on it. I don't know. Like Brooke there in that picture there, she takes care of a lot of our posts. She's really good at it. But I think she posted it. If you go down a little bit,
is it on the right there? Go back up. Muffaletta at
Ore
Ore
right there.
Deli.
Look at that.
The New Orleans style muffaletta at Ore. Comes with mozzarella and sirloin, presto.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting here shaking my head, but what's a muffaletta?
So it's
the type of bread, right?
Well, it's a type of sandwich. It really has to do with the olive spread and stuff that's on it, but it comes from New Orleans. But it's a Sicilian style sandwich that was developed in New Orleans. So it's Italian in its way, because I don't like to stray too far off from the Italian thing, right? Like I want to be an Italian deli. I'm not Italian, but I like it.
Okay, so Ore is an Italian deli.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And that's why you see certain things and certain meats that we use that, we use a lot of burrata, and we use meats that come in from Italy. Like, I mean, we use certain stuff that nobody else uses, really, around here anyway. But
that's why you got number one.
I guess so. I don't know.
People are out there doing muffaletta reviews and stuff. That's awesome.
I mean, it's kind of random, but we just knew from customers telling us, and we're like, oh, and then, man, it was crazy. Like, I mean, I couldn't have paid for that advertisement. The amount of people that came in off of that thing. I was at the Macy's over here because they're closing, and I was buying some fixtures over by Brookwood, and the guy's like, what do y'all do? And I was telling him about the store. I was like, it's hard to, like, explain. If you've been in there, you get it. But if I was sitting here trying to tell you what we do at our store, you'd be like, I don't get it. Yeah. So I'm always trying to tell people, and I'm like, you just kind of got to go.
Like, we sell stuff, but it's cooler than any store you've ever been in.
Pretty much.
Just trust me.
It's just really weird. So it's a hard, because there's not like, hey, we're a deli.
Right.
But we're not just a deli.
Right.
Oh, we're a skate shop. We're not just a skate shop. You know, I have fly fishing rods, you know. So this lady's like, did I just read about y'all in the AL.com?
In the AL.com.
And I was like,
Shoot, yeah, you did.
exactly. And so I was like, wow, that's crazy. She goes, yeah. And she starts telling the other guy about it. Like, I mean,
Wow.
it was weird.
That's awesome.
So the deli's been a big hit, man. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
What's the difference between, I mean, do you guys have, what are your hours typically through the week? You say you're open 7 days a week.
Yeah. Right now we're 11 to 6.
Is that every day?
Except for Sunday, 10 to 5.
10 to 5. Okay. Give your staff a little bit of a break.
Well, right now we're 11 to 5. I'm sorry. We're going to 10 to 5. And then we're going to be starting to stay open to 7.
Okay.
Just we have a lot of people that come in.
Well, the daylight savings thing and you know,
Yeah.
longer days. I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't like when it's dark early. I don't like the girls to have to be there to close up because they'll have to close up
Fair
by
enough.
themselves. Like it's kind of sketchy. Like when it's dark.
Yeah, you were telling us earlier about the crazy gun battle that went down right in front of the store, and
Wild stuff.
your buddy's like saving the kid from bleeding to death that got
Yeah.
shot and all that. happened.
Pretty wild, man. And
That's
it's like
gnarly.
it puts things in perspective.
Sure.
People like I don't know, just kind of stupid. Like people are crazy. Like
People are
senseless.
crazy.
You know.
Yeah.
Like I get like someone wrong, like I don't know if you got an issue with somebody for like a real issue or somebody does something to you, you want to retaliate, I guess, but you start shooting.
I
Gun
guess I
down.
understand
But
revenge.
you start shooting up a car that has kids in it. It's just I don't know, makes zero sense.
Dude, that's
I
that's
agree.
insane.
So you're open 7 days a week, but you kind of glossed over that this isn't your full-time day job.
No,
You're a sales rep for like, some awesome stuff like Vans, Timex.
I've done a lot.
Slater.
So-
I'm interested. How do you get into that?
Oh, wow. Okay. So that goes way back. So I used to work at Faith back in the early 2000s. And anybody that I know, if you ask them about me, they know I sell stuff. Like, I mean, that's just what I do. I can buy anything.
He's your guy.
I'm gonna
Speaking of
sell.
gunshots in the OG Faith location on Magnolia. Yeah.
Oh, you have no idea
Yeah,
what stuff
dude.
we saw. I've seen some crazy stuff
Oh,
there.
I bet, man. That's crazy.
So I'm that guy, and I'm like, hey, I worked in the car industry, so like I'm like the guy. I get my phone rings all the time. If you want to buy a house in this town or you want to buy a car, people call me because
Call John.
I know, like
I need a truck.
people. Hey, like call so and so take care of you, and you're gonna get this deal. And you just walk. You got to deal with anything. You just go there and buy the truck. You want to buy a Tacoma? Here's what you do. Here's who you go see. So I got this network of people. So I've always been a sales guy, right? So I didn't know. I'm like, wow, people like sell skateboard shoes and make money. That sounds awesome. So Soul Tech, you know that brand? Etnies, America, and S.
Yeah.
So-
I know of the other brands. I don't know.
So that's under one umbrella called Soul Technology.
Okay.
So at the time, Emerica was probably Faith's #1 selling brand.
Yeah.
And the rep needed someone to kind of help his territory. So he hired me as a sub rep. So I go to working for him. And then I picked up DNA distribution, which is like Alien Workshop, Habitat, and stuff. So I was selling wood and that because you're an independent contractor. You work for like many people as you can handle, I guess, sometimes. You get 3 or 4 brands. So every time you're going to a shop, they might not need shoes, but they always need wheels or something. So
Sure.
and then I go to a trade show and meet some Vans people. They're looking for somebody for Florida. And so I put that together. And at the time, I went to work for Vans and Deluxe Distribution for Florida. It was awesome.
That's so
That
rad.
sounds awesome. Yeah, man.
And you're just driving around, just hitting up all the shops. Like,
You
yo,
hit
what
all
do
the
you need? I got
stores.
you.
And you build relationships with this stuff. Like, 90% of that stuff is friendships and relationships. I got guys that I sell to now, even with what I do, right, that I might still out or known to, or I'm selling them Filson or Red Wing boots, that used to buy Etnies from me in some little small town in Georgia.
Dang.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
I feel like that's skateboarding, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Because in those small towns, these shops are like the one-stop shop. They sell it all, kind of like what we do, right?
Yeah.
But it's very normal in these county seat towns in southern Alabama, southern Georgia, South Carolina and stuff, where you don't have these populations. They have to sell it all. I mean, they might sell Southern Tide, and they might sell skateboards and new era hats and whatever, everything from urban to preppy. They're selling it all. So I got into it that way, and I worked for this guy Dewey, and he was really smart. He was the Airwalk rep in the '80s, and so
Airwalk, yeah.
I mean, exactly. He had some killer brands, and he had been with Soltec since day one. So when I went to work for him, it was probably 18 years in Soltec, and then we had our 20th anniversary sales meeting was in Paris, France, because the guy who started Edney's was from Paris. So me, Nadas Kappas, I'm assuming. So me, Nadas, and Jason Lee, and a couple other dudes skated from our hotel to the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, you're hanging out with Jason
Dude,
Lee?
shut up.
I swear.
Oh, my
Dude,
God.
Jason, speaking of Jason, he just did a Nine Club interview. I haven't listened to it yet, but yeah, man. He's like really big into photography.
Yeah, he's got a book. What's called Galveston.
Yeah,
or
he's all about it.
it.
I got to listen to that interview. That's really
He was rad, and we, all these dudes, because they all rode for Etnies. Like, Nadas had the first ever pro skateboard shoe, and it was on Etnies. It was like Nadas upside down, Satan, And so anyway, I, it's all become network, and then next thing I know, I don't meet a stranger sometimes. Like, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to talk to somebody and learn, hey, what do they do? So my work transitioned into that. I was a rep. So I moved back here. I quit Vans.
You said it was a little stressful.
A little stressful. Quit.
Big company.
Had a crazy sales manager that just it was crazy. So half the team quit on the East Coast. So I came back here, was hanging out, working a little bit at J-Rags, living in Irondale, just kind of hanging out.
Everyone has worked at J-Rag.
Yes.
I feel like every person
Yeah.
has been on this podcast mentions J-Rag at some point.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. They're just there, and we've known people there the whole time, so there was always, hey, you could go to work there.
Yeah, need a gig. Help me out.
And then I moved to California. The bands called me. So what are you up to? I was like, not a whole lot. And they were like, hey, you want to move to Arizona? And I'm like, not really. And so I turned the job down for Arizona for 3 days in a row. They kept calling me. And a friend of mine, Jimmy Chadwick, who used to be a pro skateboarder, I got him a job with Vans down in Orlando. Well, they ended up moving him out there to Arizona. He was the rep. Well, he beat the shit out of fucking somebody. like an accounts person. They were hanging out drinking. I think there was some girl action going on. Someone got mad, and he's a brawler. He's a badass.
Okay.
Knocks this kid's teeth out of his mouth, fucks him up. Well, he gets fired from Vans. Right? So they call me. They need somebody who knows the company and really turnkey, So I'm like, I don't really want to move to Arizona, I go, only way I'd move is if I moved to California. So after the third day, I'm like, fuck it. I'll move to Arizona. I'm like, what do I got to lose? I can go make some good money. If I don't like it, I'll move back here. And the day before I'm supposed to go out there, this was in I was at the Day of the Dead Festival at Bare Hands Art Gallery, in the big thing behind it. Yeah. I was at that thing when I finally said I would do it. Well, they called me the next day. They're like, plans change. We want you to move to California instead, and you need to be here by December 1st. And it was 30 days. And I was like, okay, cool.
I can make that happen.
So I go out there, and then I did the Vans thing for Southern California for a few years, and then I opened a store called Dixie in Long Beach. I was very into motorcycle. I sold a lot of motorcycle stuff, and then I opened another store in Los Angeles called Trico, which is still around, and it was with Dice Magazine. You guys know that magazine?
Yeah.
So me and the guys from Dice Magazine and this company called Great Frog, he makes jewelry, stuff like this.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I was digging that ring.
He made skull rings in the 60s. His dad did for Keith Richards, and that's they're from London.
Sure, okay.
So the three of us opened a store called Trico in Los Feliz. And so I was doing stores and doing Vans at the same time.
Were you doing the store in Long Beach at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, man, you're a busy guy.
This life is
Long Beach
wild.
is rad, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's a cool place.
It's rad. Long Beach is very working class, a lot like here in a lot of ways. A little more crowded and a lot more expensive. But
sure, definitely.
It's awesome. I love Long Beach.
That's awesome.
It's rad. I met a lot of people I don't know, a small world out there every day, especially skateboarding.
Yeah.
I mean, so many guys shopped at our store. We were on this main drag, and every day you'd see somebody. Whether it's Dwayne Peters or, You know, me and Jason Jesse became good buddies over that time, and like spent a lot of time together. And then you had like, you know, Caballero, you see him all the time, and Leo Romero was in there all the time. I mean, you just saw all these
Leo,
dudes.
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, because
Dude,
you know
that's
that
awesome.
you know that Cherry Park that everybody skates in Long Beach.
Yeah,
You probably seen it.
I've
in
seen
videos.
it. I mean, I haven't.
That was
been
like
there.
3 blocks away from my store.
Okay,
So every skateboarder.
you're in the Mecca.
Yeah.
It was where I mean, it was good. And Vans was headquarters right down the road, and then I started doing this, and then I quit Vans. When my son was born,
I was about to say, man, dang, you're like right there in heaven. You know?
Oh yeah, it
I
was
mean,
awesome.
But you ultimately, I interrupted you, but you said your son was born. I guess that
So he was born. So
changed some things.
it was kind of weird. Like my ex had came back here. He was born here. So I was doing this crazy back and forth stuff, and Vans was kind of giving me grief. So I was like, yeah, I don't quit. I just quit, you know?
Well, priorities.
Yeah,
sure.
So I quit, focused on the store, and then back here, and then ultimately I ended up relocating back here.
So do you still have the stores in California?
I sold them off. Yeah.
So you're not connected in any way.
No.
But you said Trico's still there.
Trico's still pumping. Yeah, like they're
Nice.
still doing their thing. It's cool. Yeah.
Dude, see if you can pull that up.
Yeah, they should have an Instagram. I started it. So
Trico. Just Trico.
yeah, it's just
That's cool. No, I never got a chance to. My short time in Long Beach, I did not get a chance to visit Trico.
Trico.
Windshield wipers.
Yeah. Do Trico, not South Beach. It'd be Los Feliz. Try Los Feliz.
Los Feliz.
Okay, so it's definitely a more of a biker inspired.
Oh yeah.
place.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
so I was like probably one of the first stores to ever. Dixie was before all this,
Yeah.
and I sold very motorcycle inspired things. There wasn't stores like that just sold a little bit of everything motorcycle vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys, going back to Ore, the bike that's sitting in the window, is that Nick's bike?
No, that was mine.
That was yours. Okay.
Yeah.
We had Nick Resty on, and I saw that. I feel like I saw that on social media or something like that.
Yeah, that's my 57 Pinhead. And
Okay. Just sitting up for decor, I guess.
yeah, when
It's
we
a rad
first
look.
opened, I had like 3 or 4 bikes in there, like, and then I just kept getting more product.
Okay.
Got rid of the bikes out.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Trico right there. That's
Damn.
Well, that's cool, man. That's right. That's still
Yeah.
up and going. Do you still keep in touch with those dudes?
yeah, I do.
Or any of the founding members still a part of it? that you know?
So Dice is still a part of it.
Well, Dice, yeah.
But they've moved, he moved to North Carolina, like the main dude. So he's in North Carolina. So I think it's just Will, like, is still in LA.
Now, as far as like chopper stuff goes at Ore, I mean, do you guys, maybe you haven't, I just haven't seen it. Do you guys sell helmets and
We
stuff
do.
like that?
We have a few. It's not like we don't sell a lot of them. Like, but it's something I have. I sell gloves.
It looks cool on the shelf. You know, when
Right.
you walk in, you see a helmet. It just like it has a vibe to it, even if you're not selling a ton.
And then you're like the dude, like, oh, go down there and get a helmet, you
Yeah.
know. But I sell gloves, helmets, and a little bit of this brand Loser Machine. You know that
Loser
stuff?
Machine. I've been introduced to it from your store. I
Okay.
had not previously heard of it.
So Adrian Lopez, skateboarder.
Yeah.
That's his
Oh,
brand.
sick.
That's his company. Yeah. So we became friends. I sold a lot of it in Long Beach, and over the years we did a lot of business together. And so ultimately, when I opened here, I'm like, oh, of course I'm gonna carry his stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's had some boards like randomly pop up on Zero. You know, I guess
Oh,
Jamie
yeah.
just like you'll see like boards from people that haven't ridden in forever. You know, and
Well, yeah, he was originally on Zero.
yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah, and then he had Mystery was Lopez's.
What
deal.
happened to Mystery, dude? That was such a rad. Do you remember the video? It was New Blood. We've got it sitting behind you. The whole section that they had introducing Mystery. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
a black and white section.
I do.
Session.
Yeah. So that was Lopez's deal.
Really?
Like, through Black Box.
Lindsey
And,
Robertson, man.
Oh, yeah?
Lindsey Robertson. He was like my favorite skateboarder. He was
He's
so
a
sick.
he's a Florida guy, right? Like Panama City or somewhere.
I don't know.
random.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
think he's
anything
a
about him.
Panama City guy.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of a nerd.
I have random. I just wonder where skateboarders are.
Who
these
knows
days.
where that
Like,
guy
Where
is?
is Lindsey Robertson?
He's probably like 300 pounds and doing nothing.
He was one of the only dudes I ever saw. It's like he always skated with glasses, and I'm like,
He
how are
was.
you doing these massive hill flips?
Yeah, I want to say
And,
he
like-
was from Panama City or Dothan. He's from these parts.
Really?
Like, not far from here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hopefully he's out there listening.
I know he might be. You know,
come on our podcast, hang out.
He was always nice. He was a nice kid. Like, but who knows? Like, dude, that's like Long Beach. I'd meet some dude and I'd be like, hey, you're like so and so from, you skated in like 1994, like Jason Rothmeier. I don't know if you know who that is, but he was pro in like the early 90s, and he used to come and he was one of my sales reps, and he had like 4-on-1 video magazine, and he was pro for like Stereo or something, Sonic skateboards, and he had all these, like, he was awesome. He's tech, really super tech, and then he was like my rep. I was like, oh, what's up,
man? Hey, no big deal.
Just kind of random, But yeah, I guess that's what, I don't know.
Well, that's cool, man. I dig the vibe of Ore and how you guys have some skate stuff. I was in there the other day. I was trying to buy some shoes, and I was like, it's right down the street. I'll come get some Vans. But I couldn't find any in my size, so I don't know if y'all have a huge inventory.
Okay.
So I need to go hit up
So that's
Peter.
a Peter issue, which is like,
all right, Peter, step it up, man.
Hey, exactly. No, that's Peter. Like, that's just no size. Like, I mean, that's the thing me and him were talking about last weekend. I'm like, maybe we don't need to sell Vans in here anymore because you never have the sizes,
Really?
So
I guess that's a common
It's got size like
source
14 and a half, and then
Yeah.
size like a size 6.
Well, let's challenge. Like, I mean, it's supply chain's obviously an issue.
That was my next question, man. I know, with my business and stuff, and just the supply chain issues have been insane. I think the last time I was in Ore, you guys had a couple of boxes of like brand new Howard Brothers stuff. I always hit the Howard Brothers rack. I can never find my size, and I saw it, and I almost was like, "Can I just like dig through this and like see some of the new product?" But how has the supply chain issues affected Ore? And probably not in the best way. But
no, I mean, there's things that are delayed. If you're not, we pre-order everything. So everything we're getting in right now, we bought 6 months ago, or we ordered it, wrote the orders for it. Right, most everything, right. And Peter deals with the same thing. He's buying. You have to think in the future. What can I sell? So I'm looking at what we're selling now, like all that Howler Brothers stuff. I wrote those orders back in September. So I have to think, like, one, what's going to be trending? Like,
yeah, man,
what's
you really
going to
have
be
to.
cool?
You got to have your finger on the pulse to know, like, okay, what's going to sell?
Yeah.
I buy 15 shirts in this design, and nobody in our state likes them or whatever. You know what I mean?
And that's the gamble, right? Like, you're never going to win on everything. But I've been there on both sides of it long enough to know and understand things a little differently, and I'll take risk. I'm not afraid to take a risk. But the biggest thing on our end on supply chain has been products being delayed. Like, hey, we expect it February 15th, and it ends up being like May.
Oh, yeah, damn.
So like, not as bad this year because I think everybody kind of got on the cusp of getting your orders in earlier, and so manufacturing schedules. But what's happened is most everything's manufactured overseas, right? So even in my regular day job, people's calendars are moving forward. Or whereas, like, say Howler Brothers wants to make this shirt right here that I have on. It's not a Howler Brothers shirt.
That's a rad shirt, by the way.
It's a Wrangler Billabong combo.
That's cool, man.
Kind of rad, yeah. My wife,
like deserty, retro.
It's like, I don't know. I get more compliments on this shirt.
I would have not thought that was a Wrangler shirt.
Yeah, it's pretty rad, huh?
Yeah.
Like, so what's happened though is, like, used to a company, a small brand like Howler Brothers could make this shirt, make 300 of them. Well, with everything changing, now they got to make 600 of them per color, per SKU or something. So that's changed everything. So it's, they're planning their business a little bit better, but then it causes me to have to plan my business even more so, right? I can't rely on, hey, you come in and I don't have this shirt anymore. I can't just order you one.
Right.
And I mean, occasionally you can, but typically you can't. Like, I mean, it's just not available anymore.
Do you have a lot of people that come up that say that? Like, hey, I love the shirt, but it's only a small. I need a XL.
I mean, I always try.
Yeah.
Like, in the, 2 out of 5, I might be able to. Double X guy, a 3X guy or something. I'll order anything for anybody. If you come in and you're like, hey, I really like this. Can you get it? I'll check. And if I can get it, I'll be glad to order it for somebody. But that kind of stuff, at-once business has gotten really challenging.
Yeah. Well, just in the retail in general, I've always wondered, you obviously have a sale rack of stuff that you guys have been holding on to forever that maybe it's just not selling. But what percentage, like, because you said it yourself, you take a gamble every time you make a big order. You're like, okay, I hope this sells. I hope I order the right amount and the right sizes to sell. I hope it's the right color scheme and stuff that people like, people dig. On average, do you know like what the average amount of, like, if you order 100 shirts, how many of those you actually sell before you're having to mark them down 50%?
Like how many am I selling full price, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I'm probably track on like a 75 to 80% track.
Okay.
So I figured it out and I can do that. And if you get more than 60% sell through on something, it's good.
Okay. Because I always thought, man, it's like, dude, you spend all this money up front ordering this inventory and you get all this product and then it doesn't sell. And you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, dude. Like, because, I mean, every time you mark it down, you're taking a hit.
Oh, trust me. Like I overbought beanies this year and I'm
Damn,
like,
dude.
got all these beanies, you know, and the
I
weather's
saw
changing.
that, like the $5 beanie bag
Yeah.
bucket or whatever.
And it's like buy one, get one free right now, you know.
Buy one, get 7.
I just
Come on.
want to get rid of them because I'm like, okay, if there's a certain cutoff window, if I don't sell them in time, then I'm going to be stuck with them. I'm going to put them in a box and wait them for next year, you know.
Damn, I'm gonna come through and
Just
buy some
decorate the
beanies.
walls,
Hey,
man.
yeah, I mean, it's like really good. So I'm like, okay, it's cool if you waited late in the season to get a beanie, you can get a good deal on one right now. But, you know, I overbought a couple jackets, but then some jackets I didn't buy enough of. So it balances out. There's things you make better margins on and things you make less margins on too. So that all balances out.
Yeah.
But what I generally do, like if I buy, say a Howler Brothers shirt, I buy 10 of them, right? When I get down to 1 or 2, and like I'll put them on sale rack.
Okay.
I'll start them at 30% off. And if you're like the dude who's been eyeballing that shirt and you come in, it's your size, you're psyched.
Boom. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And if I get down to 1, I'll usually put it over there at 50% off, you know, like just because it's like, okay, it's just there.
Yeah.
And I'll move it. And then so our sale rack always has a deal for
Yeah.
somebody. And it's constantly changing, right? So I'm not going to sit over there and wait for that one person to walk in and get a max dollar out of it. I'll move it on and just keep it circling.
Just keep it flowing. Keep the
Yeah.
money flowing, I guess. Yeah.
And that's the trick is not falling in love with things, right? Like I know what I like.
But you got to be open to what the customers like.
That's the key. Like if I bought just for me, I would sell black T-shirts and
Yeah.
Dickies or something.
Dude,
Yeah.
I feel like I would totally fall in that pitfall. It's like, I want everyone to think like me. And if you don't think like me, I don't want you to shop here. I want you
Right.
to come buy what I like because that's the store this is for. This is for that person.
I mean, and that's
You
the
know what I
hard part is I have to like. Granted, I like a lot of things we sell. It might not be for me,
Okay.
right? I like it, and I think it's cool. I'm not going to buy anything I don't think is cool, I guess, and put it in there. But
mean? Somebody buys that T-shirt with the turkey leg on it, and you're like, oh, God,
yeah,
I can't believe we sell that here.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean, I'd sell pink shorts, but
No-
I probably
no
wouldn't wear
disrespect.
pink shorts. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's certain things I wouldn't wear, but I get it. I'm like understand why people who likes it and why.
Yeah.
I don't wear the bikinis we sell either. So.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I mean, I guess doing all the, being a rep and visiting all these different stores all over the country and then having started stores on the West Coast, on the East Coast, and obviously having a good footing here in the South, it seems like you're the perfect person to start a retail space because you kind of know some of the pitfalls that maybe someone who's brand new into retail would fall into, maybe over ordering or not really knowing your demographic,
Right.
like.
Yeah, I don't know about perfect person, but
I mean, you can't be perfect, but I mean,
I don't. No, but I do think like there's a friend of mine named Greg. We've done a lot of work together. He had a shop, really good shop in DC, and we talk about it all the time. And I watch people who open stores make huge mistakes. They spend too much on their build out. They spend all this stuff, and it's like there's ways to do it that people don't know. Like, like from a consulting standpoint, I could help somebody open a business and save a lot of money, right? But a lot of people, they don't know. They look at Macy's and go, oh, I got to do it like that. I
Yeah,
got to blow all this
yeah.
money. And it's like, no, you really don't. Like, you got to do X, Y, Z, and you will maximize your potential and profit and everything that you can do because you still got overhead to pay for. So if you go, I've always looked at it like, everything's got to be strategic. And if you go in and spend $100,000 on your build out, well, that doesn't work. Because to me, that $100,000 could have been on product.
Yeah.
So I spend the least amount of money on my build out. I mean, all of our fixtures. I mean, you've been in our store. It feels nice in there, right? Looks nice. Doesn't spend a lot of money on it. A lot of those fixtures came from like Sears when they were going out of business, and all I did is reface them and repurpose them and shape them where you would never know.
How much do we need to spend on coat racks? Like,
Right.
yeah.
But a
Dude,
lot
I'll
of people,
build a coat rack. Don't worry about it. It's a
Yeah,
2x4. It's like everybody likes that aesthetic.
but people spend so much money, but they don't know that they don't have to do it that way. They go hire some crazy construction company that comes in. It's like, yep, $60,000. I'll build this, you know. And if you walked in our store, you'd be like, man, they spent a lot of money. But fortunately, we didn't. And that allows us to spend more on people. It allows us to spend more on product. And if you're not selling product, you're not making any money.
Yeah.
You know, so, and you can't have good people. Like hopefully y'all have had good experiences there. I'm assuming you have.
Oh,
or you
yeah, that's
probably wouldn't
right,
hit
man.
me up.
Everybody's nice. And, yeah, it's a cool environment. It's just a cool place to hang out. Like I said, we come there and get lunch. And that's probably the best thing because it's like you're there to get a sandwich. Well, you might as well
You're
take
never
a
just
lap
there to get a sandwich.
and walk around and check out what the new stuff is. And
Yeah.
it's like, I might pick up a koozie or I might pick up a pack of stickers or small stuff,
Right.
And I guess, the holiday season is usually pretty good for you guys, I would imagine.
Incredible. I think we are the best little gift store around, like in this area, right?
Because there's such variety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There
it's like I
is.
can literally, speaking from my own experience, when we went there, we literally bought gifts for my entire family in one place. It was heaven.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we're going to knock out our entire Christmas list in one place, and then we're going to go have a beer, and we're going to go home. And we're done, It's amazing.
It's pretty rad, and people come in and like, oh, we're having we're getting Christmas gifts, but we're having a little Christmas get together. We make them a charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Like, cool, get a bottle of wine. Like we had a huge party in December, Christmas party. We had all our Rhine reps out there. We had a live music. There's 300 people in there. I mean, it was packed.
Dang.
It was insane. Like,
Was that the tasting? I think we had,
Yeah.
they had told us about it. We had a prior engagement. We couldn't come.
it was like, I was thinking like, oh, we'll get like 50 people. It was nutty. Like in 2 hours, we did like so much business, and people were buying. I mean, they were just there for gifts. But it was a good environment. We did a giant charcuterie board. It was free.
Mm-hmm.
We had giveaways from every brand that we sell, send us stuff, and we supported. So we raffled things off. So people were getting like, one guy got like a really nice Howler jacket.
Dang.
And then Howler sent us probably a dozen hats we gave away. So we were just raffling stuff off, so people got stuff. But then it was just gift.
So, see, like Macy's isn't doing stuff like that.
No.
Like, I don't know.
That's why it's always better to shop local.
Yeah.
Well, it's like grassroots. I like I think marketing's great, but the grassroots organic marketing, I like me saying we don't have a sign that says Deli on our store, which is stupid probably. But
You got the little sign out front,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
But we're gonna probably get a real sign one of these days. But it's kind of a secret, right? You go in, oh, this deli, this is cool. But then if you know about it, you're like, oh, I know about this deli over here.
That's
But-
how he pitched it to me.
But it's organic, right? Like the people who are coming, who have been there, they know they didn't see some random ad or whatever. It's a lot of word of mouth, which is good because that's real marketing.
Yeah, it's really working.
Right.
Really getting out there. Now, you talked earlier about the patio thing. I guess I'm not fully envisioning that. Is that in the front of the store?
Yeah.
You guys are doing a patio, and they're getting rid of the sidewalk that runs.
So
Explain that to me a little
if
better.
you've ever driven through there, the bane of everybody's existence is that's a one-way.
Right.
People like to go the wrong way on the one-way.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Right.
Every time.
I've seen
On purpose.
people almost getting fights. I mean, like crazy stuff.
Well, I like to pull through to the next parking spot. So then
Right,
when I exit,
sure.
I got to
You're ready
drive
to
the
go.
wrong way.
So it's because it's so wide right there. People just assume. So they're actually going to be bumping out the sidewalk all the way down to kind of narrow that lane up. So it will feel like a one-way.
Okay.
And in that process, we're getting a patio.
Now you're just going to have jams, and people are going to be kicking it in reverse while other people
Well,
are
I think
coming
there'll
down.
be enough. I think they're going to put some signage and there's going to be some stuff on the end that's probably like a curb, you know, that's going to say one way.
Sure.
And then it's rightfully so you can yell at that
It'll
person.
work out. Yeah.
And you won't be able to pull through your parking spot because I think there's going to be a curb there too.
You need like
Yeah.
those. You need like those spike things they put at Six Flags when you go in. You can only drive over it one way. There you go.
That's a
Yeah.
little extreme.
That would
But,
be awesome. I like that idea.
But I guess the idea for the patio is just to expand the space for people. I guess you'll have tables and stuff for people to sit down and eat their lunch. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
we just put some
Wow.
tables up by the front windows, and it's been pretty good so people can sit there and just chill. And,
Sure.
but yeah, just to do more, like just
Or like you said, when the coffee spot's there, you know, people are gonna sit down and drink coffee.
Ooh,
yeah.
buddy.
Now-
Now, if you come there for lunch, you might say, or like an afternoon. Well, we're gonna pitch this little happy hour thing here coming pretty soon, where we're gonna do some charcuterie and some cheap wine and beers. And if there's a patio there, you can come and
There's
hang
a
out.
very fine line between what you guys are doing and what like Mom's is doing, you know,
Yeah.
or like any other bar. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you can come buy alcohol, drink it on premises, and hang out. I'm like, okay,
No. But those are bars.
those are bars. This is a mercantile.
Right,
We are
yeah.
different.
You can buy some other stuff when you get drunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can buy the cooler to then put your beer in all in the same spot.
Just build a bar in the back. Have a
know.
bartender. It's a couple of taps. It's
That
small.
would be awesome.
Dude, that would be
I should
so
do that.
sick. Dude.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, dude, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Man. I love the store. I love hanging out there. I love coming in and checking out what new product you guys have. And
Yeah, man, it's fun. I mean, I meet a lot of people, like, so it's cool. Like, I mean, it's funny. We've got really good staff. Like, everybody that works for us is just that's what's important to me. Like, it's having good people
yeah,
that make us who we are, right? Like, because they're a representation. If I'm not there. I mean, if you see me there, I'm usually at one of the tables in the dining room on my computer. So that's my office. And but I'm not working the register. So if we're only as good as the people that are working there, right?
yeah.
And we've been very blessed to have some really good people. We've lost a couple people here lately. One girl moved to Atlanta, and the other girl went to work for Landing, and so we've lost a couple people that are really awesome. But we still have some really good team. We just brought in a new girl, just hired last week. I think she's going to be fit right in, and everybody's got good personalities. We cut it up.
Seems like the spot to be, man. To work at.
It's good.
It'd be great.
I mean, we make it easy. Like, only thing is like show up on time, like be here the day you're supposed to be here.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
do what you gotta do. Yeah.
But they come in. Most of the people come in because they were customers, and they're like, "Oh man, this would be a great place to work." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Hey, we actually need somebody." Works out, and we got a great team in the deli. They really take.
So the deli team, I guess, is separate from the rest of the team. You don't
Yeah.
have the dude slinging sandwiches out there selling t-shirts.
Selling t-shirts.
No, occasionally, like
Can I
if-
get some help getting this box off the
for an
top?
hour or something, like Lee will help out or something. But for the most part, all the deli guys are in the back,
Okay.
and then whoever's working the front's up front. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll help each other out. Like if it gets really busy, like one of the girls will run into the back and write deli tickets for the guys. If we're shorthanded or someone's not there or whatever, then we try to work as a pretty good cohesive team. So everybody gets tipped.
Yeah.
So which is good.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're proud of the place and seeing your vision come to life. Did you ever expect it to be as successful as it's become? And, is it
I'm still waiting on the success part.
– oh, the success – well, it looks – from the outside
I'm just-
looking in,
I'm just kidding.
It looks cool.
No, it's when you start something, you don't know. I mean, you guys are doing this podcast, right? Like, so when you have an idea, you're like, okay, I want to do this. You don't know what's going to happen, right?
Right.
You don't know how it's going to be received. You don't know if it's going to work. But either you do it or you don't. And I guess I felt like, okay, if I don't do this store that I keep having this idea in my head, I'm like, I want to do the store. I want to do a store. If I don't do it, I'm going to turn the corner and someone else is going to be doing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive up to that shopping center. I'm going to look over there and I go, damn it, I should have rented that spot, right? So everything came in place. Fortunately, we had a wild 2020, right?
Right.
But outside of the 2020 situation, I'm very pleased with the way it's at right now, where we're tracking and where we're going. We're able to be open 7 days a week, whereas 3 months ago we were only open 5 days a week. So, we're growing and we're seeing the growth that we want to see, and then in time we'll be maybe I'll make some money. In
That
the
is
meantime,
the dream, dude.
everybody's working to make some money, and that's just great. You know, I mean, we're doing something for. I mean, you know, we're giving jobs to people around here. Where, the whole shopping center is nicer because of it. You know, not just us, but everybody in there.
Do you guys see yourself doing any more like event-based things?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you were talking about the charcuterie thing. Was that just a holiday?
So
thing, or-
we're actually probably going to do something in April. We haven't picked the date yet, but we're planning probably latter part of April to do another like spring open house type thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to. We try to do things. I want to try to do things like that 2-3 times a year.
Okay.
You know, seasonal. Maybe we'll do one at the beginning of fall.
Do you have like
Do one at
music
Christmas.
or like?
Yeah. Last time we had Jason Johnson, which I don't know if you like country or whatever, but
Oh yeah.
if you like country type stuff, he singer songwriter guy. He's the Beham guy.
Okay.
And he's a really good musician. I mean, like incredible musician, and he's writing some stuff. And he's played the Bluebird Cafe, and he's written some songs in Nashville. And he's,
Well, you guys got Seasick right there, man.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
do.
they do live shows
They
all
do
the time.
shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
it vibrates our wall a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm sure, dude.
But yeah, they're doing their thing, so it's like it's good. We feed off each other really good. When they're having a show, people come over to us and buy a beer,
Yeah,
sandwich. Bands eat that at our spot all the time.
that's awesome.
But yeah, no, we're gonna do some more stuff. I think I like I said, I like grassroots events. Me and Peter were talking about trying to do a little skate jam or something in the parking lot one day too.
Oh, how cool that would be.
rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get keep people out of that parking lot, man, it gets packed, especially on the weekends. And,
Oh yeah.
and then moms, you know, pretty much every night when I drive by, it's crazy.
It's
They take
wild.
over the whole
It's
left
wild.
side, man.
For a little like bar with one bathroom, it's a lot of people.
Dude, that's a very popular place.
It's rad. I don't go there late at night very often. It's
No, we try to
usually-
hit it early. We try to hit around like 8:00, you know,
Yeah.
and then usually can beat the super late night crowd.
I hit it after the store occasionally, and I'll go over there and drink a couple and split. But
Yeah,
I'm not that cool.
that's a cool place to work, man. It's awesome, just having everything right there. I think we've slowly interviewed everybody in the shopping center.
Oh, nice.
We've got to get.
We're well on our way.
I don't know what we would talk about with the harvest roots ferments. I don't know anything about like kombucha, but you know,
Yeah.
maybe they would be cool.
Yeah.
And then the pet supply place. Like, so what's going on in the pet world? Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everybody in there has their like niche customer too.
Go get a tattoo. Go get some pet food. Go
Okay.
get a sandwich. Get you a beer.
Yoga.
It's cool, man. Do
your
some
yoga
yoga.
on.
Yeah, I forget about the yoga.
Go
place.
downstairs and smoke a joint.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, all right.
You
Like,
got it all, man.
get a beer at Mom's, then wander over to Cava.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a very cool place to be. Thank you so much for coming
No,
and
thank
talking
you.
with
Yeah,
us
definitely.
and giving us a little
Yeah.
insight into what you guys have going on and what you guys have coming in the future. I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, man, I'm like,
That's
I
rad.
appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks
awesome.
for coming, man.
Cool.
Sick.